too.
Yeah. So the thing that I really want to know from both of you guys is like in looking back at Halloween when you were younger, I
Ooh.
know like there's Halloween night, of course, the costumes and like the little orange pail. Did y'all have that? I had the plastic one that was
The
actually, I think
pail.
from I think it was from McDonald's. It was like a your Happy Meal container from McDonald's.
Sure.
Um, but what I want to know is what other, I mean, I think about what is it? You're a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Uh-huh.
That's a little bit Thanksgiving-y, but what are y'all's other like big Halloween memories
Ooh,
from being little?
I love that. Hocus Pocus. I feel like
Yes.
Hocus Pocus,
Yes,
watching that was you had to do it.
you
It
had
wasn't
Yep.
to.
out.
You had to.
I think my biggest memory from Halloween was I was dressed up as Tigger and I slammed my hand in the door.
Oh,
Yeah, I
The
was
car
six.
door, the house door.
House door. I was six.
And
That's
so
all I
did it
remember.
ruin Halloween?
Uh-huh. I still remember it. I'm 30.
That's really sad.
did you not get to go trick-or-treating? Was it over
I
after
did.
that?
My paw was just, limp.
Oh my gosh. I bet people gave you extra
I
candy
mean, maybe I
with
was
your
pouting.
broken paw.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's so
Anyway,
good. It's so good. Okay, great. Yep.
yes. MC, do you want to introduce
Yeah,
our
of course
special
I
guest?
do. You guys, this is so much fun. We are joined this morning by Claire Jones, and Claire has an incredible business that is called, get ready, Crystal Coast Ghost.
Ooh.
Okay, I know. And so now that we are within a couple of weeks of Halloween, let's be clear. I mean, ghost stories and the whole premise behind this is perfect for any time of year. And it feels like that right now just really lends itself to us sharing your story. So we're really excited. I want to understand exactly all the different ways that we can actually take a ghost tour because there are some different ones, you guys. And I know, I mean, Meg, do you believe in ghosts?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
Okay. I
what
mean,
about you, Mary?
that was like a very straight answer.
Well, what about you?
I mean, maybe I think I believe in spirits. Is that the same thing as
Ooh.
ghosts?
I would say so.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Claire, you believe in ghosts.
I am a cynical believer, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I love this.
Great.
I love this.
Okay.
Okay, but before we get started in the logistics of how folks can enjoy this awesome small business, will you give us the
Yeah.
backstory on how you got here, kind of your story? We'd love to know.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, I'm a Swansboro native, grew up my whole life in near historic Swansboro, went to East Carolina, and after go Pirates, woo,
Yay.
after that, I worked in hotels. So I lived all over the country working in hotel operations. And every time I would go to a new city or I'd move to a new state, I would take all of the ghost walks, all of the paranormal investigations. Like
Hmm.
I love that
That's really
stuff.
smart.
It's cool for like the ghosty piece, but also you learn about the history, the architecture, and just all the things that you wouldn't have known about where you
That's
live. So
really cool. Yeah.
yeah, so fast forward, I moved back to Swansboro about 2 years ago and started scratching my head. I had gone on the Beaufort Ghost Walk, amazing, if anybody gets a chance,
So fun.
and started thinking, gracious, like we should have ghosts too in Swansboro. We were settled in 1735. Like there's all this cool history here. So it started as an experiment. After about 75 interviews, Swansboro delivered, y'all. We have some major, major ghosts. And through that exercise, I actually learned a lot about other supernatural and paranormal stuff all along the Crystal Coast. So we kicked off our Spirits of Swansboro tour, Ghost Walk last year, and we've got some other offerings now. But it was a fun experiment, and it's kind of turned into a year-round thing at this point.
So, Claire, if I understood that correctly, you spent a good amount of time doing all of the research and digging and all that. How much time? I mean, roughly
Oh
how
my
much
70
gosh.
interviews. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, Meg, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of hours. So we partnered with a few local organizations. We've worked with the area Ghost Walks, New Bern, Beaufort, Wilmington, just to make sure our stories align. Some other tour operators, the Swansboro Historic Association, all of the tourism authorities around Carteret, Onslow County. So I had a lot of help for
y'all
sure.
did the work?
You know, what I'm taking away here is these are not janky ghosts.
No.
Like these are
Oh,
legit ghosts.
correct. I have some
Yeah.
janky ghosts, but we try to stick with the ghosts that we can kind of match up with
Yeah.
historical
Yeah,
context.
sure.
That's so cool. I absolutely love this.
I do too. I do too.
Okay, and so as far as the ghost tours, I'm assuming that they all happen at night.
They do, they don't have to.
Okay.
So we have done like some kids' birthday parties earlier
Okay.
in the day. Surprisingly, that's been one of the biggest surprises for me is our Halloween babies. They love to do ghost walks for
Cute.
their birthdays.
That
So
is so fun.
yeah, it's been really fun. Most of our public offerings are during the evening, so
Okay.
dusk to night, but we can certainly do things during the day for anyone that
Dusk.
prefers
Yeah.
not to walk around at
Okay.
night.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Okay. So you can do one of them is a 90-minute ghost tour, as I understand, a walking ghost tour. And then you have an option for something that is a little bit more centered on the 21 and over. Is that right?
Correct. So when we were
So
doing
fun.
the family friendly experience, I had guests that kept asking me about the sketchier history, the things that I can't talk about in front of kids. So enter SOS After Dark. It's our haunted pub crawl, and we get to hear about all of the, edgier things, brothels, murders, suicides, tragedies. It sounds dark. It is, but we have a lot of fun with it. And pay a lot of respect to those who came before us and their stories.
So what I'm hearing is I'm a big true crime podcast girly, and I feel like I'm hopping off of this morning and going and booking my
I
tour.
know. I
This
know.
is
I
such a
really want,
cool
I think our whole team would have so much fun.
100%.
Okay.
I love that. And I love that it's all sourced from like legitimate research and all of the interviews you guys did. That is such a cool piece of it as well. I mean, you're learning and you're being entertained and maybe a little spooked along the way.
Exactly. And so Claire, for the SOS one, you're actually stopping at places, establishments in Swansboro,
We
right?
are, yeah. So we have 4 locations. We've worked with the business owners, so they offer some drink specials and different experiences. I won't give away all the surprises. We don't do jump scares. So if anyone's worried about
Thank
like
God.
popping out, that's not something we do. If you see a ghost, we didn't stage it. That was on its own. So yeah, it's cool because you get to also check out some of the businesses on French Street and hear who might have been there before we came.
I love it.
So cool.
We're going to post the link, of course, to your website and how people can book in the comments. So if you guys are watching and you're like me and you're like immediately yes, we'll put it in the comments right now. So
Absolutely.
yes,
Okay, so Claire, is there anything, can you give us any kind of a tidbit, like any kind of a sampling
sample.
of what sorts of ghost stories are shared?
We can do that. Yeah, we can do that, Mary. There's so many cool ghost stories in Carteret County. The Crystal Coast is rife with spirits. My favorite one, though, I have to say, most people have heard of the Gray Man of Hatteras. And you might be thinking, well, why are we talking about Hatteras? So, the Gray Man of Hatteras is actually a legend that comes to us from the 1800s. And it was a gentleman who a storm was blowing up, his fiance left to check on her family on horseback. And he was worried about her safety. So he also went out on horseback on the banks there and he did not come back, unfortunately. So the legend is that his fiance was safe, but he always, during a precursor to a major storm, he is checking to make sure people are safe, warning people of the storm. Why I think this is really cool is, y'all, we have multiple sightings of Gray Man on the Crystal Coast, 1954 during Hurricane Hazel, Shackleford Banks, Emerald Isle at the Point, and then Atlantic Beach. And then again in 2018 with Hurricane Florence, we had
Okay.
sightings of Gray Man, Emerald Isle, and Atlantic Beach. So pretty
Every
crazy that Gray Man's made his way down to the Crystal Coast.
Wow.
That is so cool.
So it's like you feel it's not uplifting stories, but like that's so cool to know. And
Yeah. Well, but wait a minute.
thank you for
But
warning
wait a
us,
minute.
Gray
He's a
Man.
nice spirit. Yeah,
Yes.
I do feel uplifted.
Good.
I like
I'm so
that.
glad.
He's not out to get us. Yeah, he wants to make sure everybody's okay.
That's
And
true.
he's like the original Jim Cantori. Like if Gray Man pops up, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Do you have okay, I love that. Do you have another one?
Of course.
Yay.
So
Okay.
in
One
Cedar
more.
Point, everyone's heard of the Octagon House, right? Really, really cool structure, a lot of history, a lot of spirits. But the spirit that I've heard about there actually doesn't, she's not there anymore. The story goes that she was out to meet her lover and her parents did not approve. So she rode by horseback out to the intercoastal where the Emerald Isle Bridge is now, so around that community. And she would wait for him there. They would meet, have their trysts. she would go home and sneak back into the house. Unfortunately, her parents found out and gave a very, very stiff warning to her lover not to meet her again, or there would be trouble. So she showed up in the middle of the night, as they normally did, to meet him, and he did not come. And this went on for days and days and days. She didn't know what happened to him. And she ended up, unfortunately, ending her life on the beaches there. And it is said that you can see her riding down the beach sometimes. It's like a marshy area, but you can actually see her riding her horse through Cedar Point, and she's looking for her lover.
Is she wearing a nightgown?
That I don't
That's
know.
scary.
Got different reports. So I've heard this legend before, but what I think is really cool is through the interviews, I have 3 people that actually have shared they have seen this woman on.
No way.
Yeah, sometimes described as like a white gown, or I've heard
Ooh,
like pink. So I've not seen her myself. I'm not totally sure where I would stay to like
right.
watch her, but yeah, we have definitely had some residents that have seen her bopping around on her horse.
That is
Crazy.
That's so cool.
so
Yeah.
like these two stories, there, I mean, I'm sure Swansboro is swimming with all of them, and we don't want you to say them right now because we want people to take the tours and hear them for themselves. But that is so cool. I mean,
You
Yeah.
know,
our area is rich with spirit.
totally. And I bet you that any time of year is so much fun to take these tours. I know that Halloween time frame is great, but you know what else I bet would be so fun is Christmas time. Because I think that Swansboro is so cute when it's
Yes,
decorated the way they do all that, and to go there and have like a spooky Christmas
agree.
event.
Oh, we love it. We love it. And Bake Bottle and Brew, it's a local coffee shop. They're so cool. They do like hot chocolates for us and fun drinks. So it's a really nice stop off in the holiday season.
I love that. And Claire, before we ask you our final question, I have a logistics question. Do you have a team or do you run these tours yourself? Tell us more.
We do, we do. So originally, this was an experiment. So I was doing it by myself, and it was supposed to be on the weekends. And then I kept adding tours and burning through shoes. And I was like, okay, it's time for some help. We have a really awesome team of spirit guides. There are 4 who help with our Spirit to Swansboro Ghost Walk, as well as private tours. They also support on the research side. So at the end of this spooky season, we'll actually be researching for some of our upcoming new experiences, one including a holiday special. So, Mary, I will send you
Cool.
details once we have that going. And then starting next year, we've actually partnered with some local businesses. We'll be doing paranormal lock-ins with our ghost besties. They're a local investigation team, No Quarter Paranormal.
Okay.
So we'll be partnering with them, and that'll be a really fun way for people that want to get even closer to learn about the science and maybe have some experiences themselves. Though we have experiences on the walks as well, like things that
That
happen
is
that are weird.
so cool.
This is really
That is
neat.
so cool. Okay, Claire, before we ask you our final question, I do just have to know. So, what has surprised you the most about coming back to Swansboro and starting this, what started as an experiment, this really cool small business? What's been the most surprising thing?
I love that question, Mary. So, full transparency, what surprised me the most is, I grew up in Swansboro and only knew 2 ghost stories, which is kind of wild if you think about it. We have a pretty long history of settlement here. What was interesting is when I started interviewing residents of the Crystal Coast, both past, present, people would always start with that, okay, I'll tell you what happened, but don't tell people it was me because I don't want them to think I'm crazy.
Oh,
And what I'll share with you is we've got a whole lot of crazy people because they're seeing spirits out here. So I thought that was really surprising that we have this sort of mentality of like, oh, I don't know what it was, and I don't want people to think that I'm just seeing things. What's been
interesting.
really cool out of the ghost walk is people are getting more comfortable with talking about
Yeah.
these things and sharing their experiences. So it's nice to see that turn because what I found is people are having similar experiences that are unexplained, and we can back up with historical context. And that to me is not crazy. Something is happening. I don't know if it's a spirit, but something is definitely happening that we do not understand.
Wow. That
This is
this
so
is so
cool.
cool.
I know. Thank you, Claire.
Yes, this is so awesome. I cannot wait for everyone here on the Carteret County side to learn more about what you guys do. But we want to ask you our final question before we let you go. Would you like to ask it?
Absolutely. Claire, we would love to know what has been saving your life recently.
Oh, I've been waiting to answer this question, Mary. I love this question. So two things. It is spooky season. First and foremost, pumpkin spice.
Oh,
Everything, all of
yeah,
it.
yeah, right.
Like must have.
So
Yeah.
good.
The second thing, this cooler weather, y'all. It
Mhm.
was time. It feels so, so good. So I'm loving this cooler weather, and it is saving us on our ghost walks because it
I was
was
about
pretty
to
hot.
say,
I
I'm sure that got
bet.
sweaty.
Yeah, I bet. That's so good.
Yes.
Those are great ones.
Absolutely.
Clear, this has been so fun. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Have a wonderful weekend. We really
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Grace.
And we're going to see you. We're coming.
Literally
Yes,
signing
I
up.
look forward to it.
I'm
We'll scare
excited.
you soon.
Great.
Bye, Claire.
Take
Bye,
care.
y'all.
Bye.
What a
Man,
delight.
I know. And that was just, man, that's so cool. That's so smart. Now, this is not going to surprise you, but when I travel, I like to go on a food tour,
Yes.
right?
Yes. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Right. And what I thought was interesting was her take that when she would travel, she'd do the ghost tour because of course you do learn about architecture
Yeah.
and probably more about about the areas themselves. So I think that's so smart.
Agree.
Ghost tour. Wow.
Y'all go in the comments, click on their website. They have some really cool different types of tours and more information about what they do, but such a cool concept, especially around spooky season, but all year round. I think that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have something that's saving your life?
So what's been saving my life recently is, I know like the things go on TikTok, then they come to Instagram, and I'm like,
So
an
it's
old lady
a
that
few
doesn't
months
have
behind.
TikTok. That's exactly right. So I know that this is old news, but the whole thing that you've been seeing everywhere, or maybe it's just my algorithm that's talking about like if you want your life to be great, then you've got to take the bull by the horns and make it great,
Mhm,
and all that basically that your days are all just kind of a combination of all the little moments of them. And so it's talking about like making your own pumpkin spice
Yes.
coffee,
Little
like
treats.
little treats, exactly right. And so you guys, I have become
I can't look at you while you say this.
I have become a master mixologist of tea. So what I've started doing is putting not one, but two tea bags in my tea in the morning and in the afternoons. I drink hot tea all day long.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. And like flavor combinations, you know,
You're a
like
mixologist.
green tea and a chai tea or mint with chamomile. I mean, all kinds of different
I love
things.
it.
Let me tell you, it's really fun.
It's elevated your days.
It totally has. And apparently I've been talking about it a lot.
A lot. And it makes me so happy. She walked into a meeting earlier this week and was like, you guys, she still had her sunglasses on also. And she didn't realize it. She had her tea. She was like, I have two bags in here.
Two.
They're different flavors.
Two tea bags.
And you're just,
I know. It feels very extravagant.
I love it.
To be clear, I drink the tea and then I refill it. And so I reuse the tea bags.
So your
Which
second
Chip
cup,
makes fun of me about.
so
that I
your second
reuse.
cup is slightly less.
A little bit.
coconut.
Yes, it is. It is. And also, lest anyone think that I'm wasting a tea bag.
True.
Yeah.
You're getting
I'm
double
not.
use
I'm not. That's exactly
out
right.
of both of them.
That's exactly right. Okay. So that's what's saving my life. What's saving
love
your
that.
life?
Mine's also a consumable. It is soup season. I say this every
Oh.
year around this time on Coffee with MC. However, we made a lasagna soup
Oh.
with, we love the jovial brown rice pasta.
Yeah.
They have a lasagna noodle sheet now at Harris Teeter.
Oh.
So we made a healthy version of lasagna soup. It was divine. I'm going to put the recipe in the comments, and everyone needs to make it if you're a lasagna fan. There's a little ricotta mozzarella topping.
Oh my gosh. That sounds
It's
so
good.
good.
It's good. Lots of tomato happening, but still.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Okay, soup season. You guys, if you have a favorite soup, would you please post the link to it in the comments as
I would
well?
be so grateful.
Thank you very much. Happy Friday, guys. Bye.